I'm gonna bet that this is not the face you would think of when you think of who is a SNAP benefit recipient. I've got white skin, a college degree, I'm married to someone with a PhD, who's also hot, and we have 2 boys, and we were on SNAP benefits less than 2 years ago. Our oldest was born less than 6 months before the pandemic kicked off, and literally when he was born, the very day after I started graduate school, because I was trying to get a graduate degree. Because of my wife's degree, we've been prioritizing her career ever since we met. So after the pandemic started, I stayed home to be the parent while my wife continued her career. By the time childcare started to look like a viable option, we were pregnant again and had another child before the vaccines even started to roll out. So we're a family of 4, living on a $60,000 salary while she was completing a postdoctoral research project. We didn't even know that we qualified for SNAP benefits for years. It wasn't until we found out that our oldest is autistic and someone recommended that we at least apply for SNAP benefits because that could be a big help on our finances, which we're barely getting by. Now, we all know how much more expensive things got after the pandemic, but from 2020 to 2024, the place we were living increased its rent by more than 30%. We started at $1,500, and when we left, the rent had gone up to $2,000 a month, more than 30%. So we didn't even know that we qualified for SNAP for years. We literally had to be told this is something you should look at. So I want you to remember that. There's a lot of people who probably qualify for SNAP who are not currently getting it. The next thing is, after her postdoc was done, she started her own company and in her first year made $200,000. What happened 1 year later? Well, Trump took office and completely destroyed our business. How can such a great businessman who's gonna have everyone swimming in money destroy our business? Google what wind energy is doing in the US. It's moving overseas. It's moving to Europe because Trump has completely destroyed all opportunities for investment in the wind energy sector. And so all that money that was getting poured into that business that we were making 6 figures from, it's now going to Europe. It's not going to Americans anymore. Wind energy brought us probably more than 60% of our income that year. The rest of it almost exclusively came from scientific research grants, which have also just evaporated. So when you're thinking of people who mooch off the government and deserve to go hungry this November, I want you to think about us and our 2 kids, one of which is special needs. I want you to remember that for years we didn't participate in SNAP because we didn't even know we qualified. We thought $60,000 a year, like, that's not poverty, right? Like, we shouldn't be applying for assistance. And then we got that assistance, and boy, was it helpful. It really did alleviate a lot of the stress. But at the same time that we were getting help with our food, the rent kept going up. So we didn't really move upwards in terms of financial stability. I don't really know what the worst part of all this is because everything just feels like a worst part. But one of the worst parts is that her dad and stepmom and my parents voted for this. They're happy that this is all happening. They're happy that we have a war on science and drill, baby, drill. Yet simultaneously, they talk about how entitled millennials are and how no one wants to work anymore. What do you want from us? We have tried so hard. We have put so much work in, and yet just the rent keeps going up. Salaries don't go up. And the moment we start to feel like we might finally be able to afford our first home, Trump takes office and just completely destroys our entire livelihood. It's honestly just fatiguing and in some ways traumatic to talk about all this. So I'm just going to leave you with this thought. Government assistance is a necessity when society prevents you from becoming.
Guys, there's something that Mother Teresa once said. He said that whenever you let a person go hungry who is your neighbor, whenever you let them look like an animal, then it is you who is the animal. Because a proper human being would not enjoy seeing another human being go hungry. These are the words of Mama Teresa or Mother Teresa of Calcutta, right? So, America itself is a very well and so much developed country, and I know that you know very well and quite very well about the systems that the country itself has had erected to help feed those who are unfortunate in the society, right? And these included the EBT, the electronic benefit transfer. We also had the SNAP, the supplementary nutritious program, right? So these systems were there to help the needy, help themselves to get nutrition, to be healthy, because America is one of those countries which has.
So Tina Coleman thought it was so funny that, you know, a RN, she is a RN that works at the Crenshaw County Hospital somewhere in Alabama. She thought she made a video thinking it was so funny that she was saying that her kids hadn't ate in the last 2 hours and she got to go to her second job to make sure they eat, blah, 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 blah. And then when she flips the video, you see her picking up her dog and she's like, yeah, I have to feed him and clothe him. It's nobody's responsibility to feed him and clothe him but mine, not the government, yada, 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 yada. But she was really trying to be funny and saying that, you know, people that are on public assistance need to be working 2 jobs instead of getting public assistance. I think that's what she's saying. No compassion at all, because she compared her dog to children out here that are, you know, in need, might not have milk, food, or what have you. I didn't think it was funny at all. And these past few days, the more videos I see, the sicker I get, because you would think you would see more people that were trying to band together and talk about what we can do to fix this than making fun of people and their situations that they can't help, a lot of them that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Minimum wage is only $7. I make decent pay, and a lot of other people do. But at the blink of an eye, it can be taken from you. And me, I'm still going to work. So don't think because you are RN and you making decent money that you go to work and something might happen and you lose your job and you might be, you know, subject to make $7 an hour. And then guess what? You're going to need SNAP benefits as well. So be careful. I'm just saying, before an RN to carry on like this and then compare children to her dog, working 2 jobs for a dog, to clothe a dog and feed a dog who hadn't eaten in the last 2 hours, that was like inhumane, really, really.
Human life expectancy because of these benefits. But ironically, it turns out that people are insulting each other for using people are insulting each other for using the SNAP benefits and the EBT, you know, because EBT and SNAP have been removed. So it is the black people who are going to suffer the most, because now, like, how does it make sense to you if someone is suffering because they're gonna go hungry? Like, how do you make happiness out of such a thing, you know?
Because people need to see what's happening in real time. When a nurse publicly mocks people receiving SNAP benefits as if poverty is a personal failure. So this nurse, who identifies as Tina Coleman, an RN at Crenshaw Community Hospital in Laverne, Alabama, thought it was appropriate to belittle people who rely on public assistance, many of whom are the same patients we care for every day. So I'm going to let you see the clip.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
So this is the ugly side of nursing culture we don't talk about enough. The performative, I work 2 jobs pride that disguises contempt for the poor. Nursing isn't about judging who's worthy of help. It's about care, equity, and humanity. And we've seen too many stories of bullying, discrimination, and classism in this field. It is time for accountability. The profession needs to study it, name it, and root it out. Because when you humiliate the vulnerable, you do not represent nursing. You absolutely disgrace it.
I guess social media has either unlocked a whole new level of stupid or unlocked a whole new category of people who just will do crazy things for attention. As an example, you know that nurse, you know, the lady who just a couple of days ago put out a video that sort of went viral about her opinions about people that receive any sort of government assistance. And ironically showing her face dressed in her work attire as if nobody knows who she is or what she does for a living, or that nobody would just discover this. Maybe she thought that because she didn't put her name in it. It's like, what compels somebody to think you could go on like social media, as big a platform as TikTok, knowing that people go viral, express your horrendous views in the pursuit of attention and agreement, thinking that the words you say have no consequences. And now that you've made this video and you've lost your job, as if that whole thing will not haunt your career for the rest of your professional life. And now the thing that we're so vocal against might be the thing that you are now going to have to do. I mean, I understand karma and stuff, but what compels somebody?
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
You know, it always amazes me how much people want to go viral so much that they're willing to risk everything they have to do it. Because you came on the internet and you mocked an entire group of people, like millions of people that need help every single day, putting basic food on their table, feeding their kids, meeting life's most basic necessities, and you're a nurse. Did you know that you have ethics that you are required to live under? And I don't know how it works, you swear an oath or whatever, but there are some ethics that you live under as a nurse. And here they are, Provision 1, the nurse practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. You literally have ethics as a nurse that you swear to that includes all of this stuff right here. And when you come on the internet and you mock humanity, you are directly breaking this. I wonder if your hospital has something similar in their mission statement. Oh, look at that. They do. The mission of blank hospital: to care for our community by improving the health and well-being of the people we serve, regardless of their economic or social status, by providing healthcare, disease prevention, and health education services, regardless of their economic or social status. I don't think your hospital agrees with you. Now look, your secret's safe with me. I don't go that far. If you're going to come on the internet and mock people who need help, who actually work, in many cases, 2 jobs to be able to feed their kids, you're breaking multiple guidelines here. Just wanted you to know that this is not hard. Anyway, I hope you care for your patients that come through your doors more than what you portray on the internet, because I don't think that your employer would really appreciate this, your internet presence and the way that you handle yourself. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Yes, she was a nurse, honey. They snatched that job just like they're snatching these SNAP benefits. Yes, she was. She was a nurse, honey. You have been demoted. Yes. Praise the Lord. Because that's what happens. Because her ass does not need to be in anyone's practicing nurse, licensed practical nurse, registered nurse practitioner, honey. She does not need to be in. There's nothing about nursing that needs to be in her title, honey. What she needs to be doing is sitting at home and figuring out how the hell she's gonna be paying for all these damn bills, since she has so much motherfucking mouth, because she got on the Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter's internet over here making fun of people because they don't have benefits because this administration is dog trash ass. So yes, honey, you need to be sitting at home. And while you're sitting at home, guarantee you, while I'm going to be sitting at my home, I'm going to still be figuring out where the hell you live at and calling the state boards, honey. And we're going to be revoking that licensure, okay? Because you don't need to be practicing nursing anymore. No, you don't have any empathy at all, honey. You don't even have a soul, honey. And you don't have a job. You don't have benefits. You have nothing, honey. And you're about to not have a damn license. So all that schooling that you did, honey, guess what? You still have to pay back them damn student loans, though. I know that. Honey, you have to be paying back them student loans, and guess what? Your ass is never going to be working as a nurse again, as far as my black ass is concerned. we gonna go ahead and take care of that. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Praise the Lord.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on.
Listen up, this isn't just a clip. This is a sledgehammer to the soul of nursing. A grotesque carnival where an RN named Tina Coleman dances on the graves of the poor like it's a TikTok trend. Crenshaw Community Hospital, Laverne, Alabama, let that name burn into your brain. Because here, a so-called healer decided poverty's a punchline that SNAP benefits are a scarlet letter for failure. She mocks the very people she's paid to care for people who drag themselves to second jobs at midnight because their baby's gone 2 hours without food, who bleed responsibility so their kids don't bleed hunger. And she preens like her 2 jobs make her a saint, while her eyes drip contempt for anyone who can't outwork starvation. This isn't just one bad apple. This is the rot we sweep under the scrubs. The performative pride that turns care into a weapon, that makes nurses judge who's worthy of a meal instead of a hand. We've seen it 1,000 times. Bullying, classism, the slow death of humanity in a field that's supposed to save lives. And let's be clear, when you humiliate the vulnerable, you're not a nurse. You're a disgrace wearing a stethoscope. This isn't just a video. It's a wake-up call. The industry needs to name this rot, dig it out, and burn it to the ground. Because if nursing stops being about equity, it stops being nursing. It becomes just another place where the strong kick the weak, and that's a crime we can't let stand.
Want to give an update to this crazy lady.
My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
Now, many of you have identified her as a Tina out of Alabama, and that's all I'm going to go with because I can't confirm that in the way that I like to confirm things, but you do with that information however you like. But it actually gets worse. Someone was able to grab this video before she put her account on private.
On today's episode of Black and Jobless.
There you have it. She was exactly who we thought she was.
Okay, listen, white people. Specifically the ones that are bitching about SNAP benefits and what people are buying with their SNAP benefits, all that stuff. If you have a problem with it, I'm hoping you'll listen to me. Probably not, but let's see. I am 53 years old. I have been working consistently for most of my adult life. I was laid off in April. I have been diligently looking for a job since then. I desperately want to work. I am very fortunate in my circumstances. If it wasn't for my mom, for my family, I would probably be homeless, living in my Jeep because I own it. I had unemployment. My unemployment ran out. I applied for food stamps, right? Went through the whole rigmarole. It is not efficient. You can't just easily get it. It's not easy to get, okay? I was denied because I have a little bit of savings. You have to be completely broke to get food stamps, okay? I have been paying, since April, I have been paying over $800 a month for Cobra to still have health insurance. I'm almost out of money, all right? And I was denied food stamps. So cut the bullshit with, oh, people are abusing it and they're getting $1,100. No. I had EBT before because my ex-husband couldn't keep a job. And for the two of us, 2 adults, we got right around like $250 a month for all of our groceries. The biggest percentage of people that have SNAP are white people. Most people that have SNAP have jobs too. You don't care what they get. You don't really care. And if you proclaim to be Christian and have Bible verses in your profile, you're the worst. Because this is not what Jesus would do. And I'm not religious, but if you proclaim to be, you can't pick and choose and then say, you know, force women to have children and then take away any leg up they have after that. school lunch programs where kids, underprivileged kids, get free lunches or discounted lunches. That's part of SNAP. So if you have a problem with helping out other people, you're what's wrong with this country. It isn't just about you. All right? I know the people that need to hear it probably won't, but I thought possibly, maybe, if they hear it from a white woman who has always worked and now is trying to work and can't find a job, maybe they'll listen. I doubt it, but I gave it a shot. Okay, bye.
My baby hasn't eaten in 2 hours. I gotta go work my second job to feed my baby because it's my responsibility, not the U.S. taxpayers. My responsibility to make sure that he is fed and clothed. I think my lip filler and Botox done migrated. I'm getting a little bit of the Bell palsy down here. Can't feel nothing. Oh, somebody please help me. I peaked in high school. I was just a mean girl. Now I'm a nurse cleaning up shit. Somebody help me. If people don't like this video, that's okay. I'm just going to delete my account and run away from the consequences of my actions. For those of you saying it looked like I'm wearing underwear on my head, it's not. It's part of my nurse's uniform, okay? I don't know why I decided to post a video like this being insensitive when I'm a nurse, but you know, I'm a stupid bitch. That's why. You could tell I'm crazy by the way I do my eye makeup. What would you do if you got a nurse that doesn't look like me?
If you're one of these people who goes on social media and complains about a poor family using their SNAP benefits to buy themselves a treat like Oreos for their children or Dr. Pepper from time to time to give themselves a little bit of joy, then I want to politely inform you that you are a cunt and can eat it.
This message is for Tina Coleman. Tina Coleman in Alabama.
Baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers.
Is that coke jar that you're suffering with? Like from chronic use of coke? Like, I understand that you're a nurse and all right now, and I think that's lovely, and I would never, ever, 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 ever come for your deliverance. But when you go pulling moves like trying to be funny about the SNAP recipients and all of the things, and because you're an RN, you have to work 2 jobs so that your dog can eat every 2 hours, and all of the things, you have bigger things to worry about and bigger fish to fry, like staying on top of your recovery.
Freedom of speech and social media is ruining people's lives. They have found that EBT nurse. They said her name is Tina, and they have reported the EBT nurse to her place of employment. And supposedly, they have fired her from her job. And now this lady, who was going on here making fun of people on EBT and doing all this stuff for giggles, now doesn't have a job in this economy. And now we have to sit here and think, if the government don't open up, what is this lady gonna do to get her SNAP benefits? How is she gonna feed that dog?
I need to know if Tina Coleman was fired from her job. If you don't know who Tina Coleman is, she made this super insensitive video about people on SNAP wearing her full nursing outfit, even her name tag. Not too smart, Tina. Your days are numbered at your job. I know where you work. I know where you live. I know your full name. I know more about you than I should know. It's 2025, Tina. There's people who have nothing better to do than investigate what you got going on. So let me know if she was fired. Love to hear it.
So as I listen carefully to these people speaking and why Tina Coleman was able to say what she said, we must understand that she is speaking from a racial basis. You know, she is now an individual racist. An individual racist cannot the support of systemic racist. You know, the systemic racist gives her the power to speak how she wills. You know, now there is certain there's a certain cloud, there's a certain image of EBT and SNAP beneficiaries that has been suspended into the air. And the suspension has been done by the media, you know. Do not underestimate the power of the media. The media can both create or destroy, you know. We've seen the media portraying EBT and SNAP beneficiaries as people who do not deserve of those benefits, you know. We've seen them being portrayed as wasteful owners, you know. Because when I look closely, I remember Trump said that you must work a certain amount of hours in a day for you to qualify for the EBT and SNAP. You've also seen videos that have even been made by AI. People using their, their card for SNAP to buy junk food, to buy luxury items, which is something I'm trying to, why is this narrative being pushed? Why are they pushing that SNAP and EBT is being wasted, you know? And if you compare the people who are pushing this narrative to the people whom are really working hard and people who really deserve it, you find that the people who deserve it are way more than the people who are pushing this negative stereotype. And you know, in many times in a democratic world, as USA calls itself, the minority does not make the rule of the law. The rule of the law is made by the majority. So my question is, how is the SNAP being used? What is the majority using it for, right? Do not use one or two people to judge a million people or millions of people. You will be wrong in doing so. You will be committing what you call a fallacy of division, whereby you use a small sample to judge a huge sample, you know? Now, if you look closely to this statement by the people complaining about the nurse, Tina Coleman, I think this is not something new that we've seen. It's not something new because, remember, people, or rather, the racists have always equated black people to poor people, you know? That is how they've always looked at us, you know? At least black Americans. And so, black poverty is seen as something which is permanent, something which was destined to happen, you know? Something which you can never escape from, except you being an exceptional, you know? And it also looks like, it also seemed to be something which is a curse, you know? I tell you, these Tina Coleman saying that she disrespects the people who have, or rather people who gain from these benefits, is just a representation that she believes white poverty is something which is temporary, is something which is an exception, right? But this is a total lie. Yeah, it's a very huge lie, because I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to look at some states in America where I see people doing videos and we have so many homeless people, white people, yeah, lying and sleeping on cupboards and tents, and there's food on the road, and it's very dirty, you know. When I look at that and I compare to the black homelessness, I think white is more homeless than the black people, you know. So whoever needs SNAP benefits more, I believe is the white person with whom Tina Coleman is supporting, you know. And one thing you must know is the SNAP benefit was not established on racial lines, you know. The SNAP benefits is a benefit that transcends racist architecture, you know. It transcends the idea that this neighborhood is rich, this neighborhood is having this kind of demographic, you know. As long as you are in a position that you can never, or rather you are in a position in need, you could use it, you know. And there is no disgrace and there is no heart of glory to refuse help, you know. And actually it is the opposite when you now come and you insult people who are relying on SNAP benefit and the people who are relying on the EBT because you think they are of a certain race, you know. It's very wrong, you know. You are underlying the very core issue. You are undermining the very core issue of support. You are undermining the very core issue of helping one who is in need, because it is a society's duty, it is a government's duty to help its less fortunate citizens. That is the role of the society, you know. A government which is stable enough and thoughtful enough cannot stand by and watch its people, you know, go hungry, starve. That is not a proper government. For Tina Coleman to speak as such, she spoke out of knowledge, and I'm grateful that the black people have come forward and they have corrected her and showed her that we are not in support of what you're saying. We need this SNAP benefit more than you think. And America is not built for you. America is built for the American citizens. Yes. And maybe if you have some thoughts, you may want to share your thoughts. I would really love to hear what you have to say. Yeah, your thoughts might be very, very impactful for someone in this video. See you in the next one. Stay positive. Remember, this is EFK original documentaries, and we are all created equal. And the EBT and the SNAP is for American people, not for a certain demographic. If you are in need, don't refuse to seek help. And that is how it works. Yeah.